We are going to finish Saigyo's document from Robert Sewell on Part 9, the Columbia Thesis of Robert Sewell, Master's Thesis, Columbia. Anyways, we'll go back to picking up a rerun of Poem 89, 1844. They were asked to, Jakurin asked people to compose a poem. And on his way, on the way in my dreams, the head priest said to Sanji, even though everything declines, this way of Japanese poetry indeed will not change even at the end of the world, and so we should write poetry at every occasion. I woke with a start and immediately wrote the poems for Jakurin and sent them to him at the end. Huh? At the end, I added this poem, Su no Yon Mo. This is from, we read it last session, but it's so good. If it were not for a dream in which I saw this elegance of Japanese poetry unchanged even in the decaying world, I would have listened as though elsewhere. If I had not, he would have not maybe written it if he hadn't had the dream, or something like that.
What it says?
Huh?
What it says?
It says, if it were not for a dream in which I saw this elegance of Japanese poetry unchanged even in the decaying world, I would have listened as though elsewhere. He wouldn't have written the poem.
You read it and you stop, because then you talk and I don't know where the poem starts.
All right. I'll start the poem and stop, and then we can think. Okay. Well, we've read it twice. Shinto Poems, 1877, Mirabashira. The shrine's pillars stand solidly erected on rocks beneath the ground, and the majestic sun's rays do not in the least cloud over. Again, the shrine's pillars stand solidly erected on rocks beneath the ground, and the majestic sun's rays do not in the least cloud over. I don't know what it means. What's it mean? 1878. This is the end of this document, his thesis. Ki ka miju yama. Because the gods have vowed the moon over the mountain of the path of the gods will always be bright. How it shines on all under heaven. Because the gods have vowed that can't read it, have vowed thus, the moon over the mountain of the path of the gods will always be bright. How it shines on all under heaven. This poem refers to Nihagi concerning the birth of the sun and the moon. Aston has translated this passage as, they then together produced the sun goddess. The resplendent lustre of this child shone through all the 6 quarters. I don't know what it means.
Read it once more.
What's more? I don't even know what it says. It's like an
Doesn't
old...
matter.
This guy typed it in 1967 with an old typewriter.
Okay.
He needs to... It's old-fashioned.
Read it down.
Because the gods have vowed that the moon over the mountain of the path of the gods will always be bright, how it shines on all under heaven.
Yeah, it's not much to understand.
All right. Maybe I'm trying too hard.
The moon is, you said that related to the Buddhist
Yeah. I was trying too
wisdom
hard.
in a way. So that wisdom is always going to be bright in a way.
Poem 1879, written on seeing the moon during a visit to Tsukiyomi Shrine at Ishi. Sayaka Naru. From the cloud well sky over Eagle's Peak, where it is bright, the moonlight is softened in the forest of Tsukiyomi. Oh, it says Eagle's Peak is the place in India where it is believed Buddha preached the Lotus Sutra. And we'll read that again. From the cloud well sky over Eagle's Peak, where it is bright, the moonlight is softened in the forest of Tsukiyomi. The softening of the moonlight is a concept which is essential to the propagation of Buddhism. Moonlight refers to Buddhist enlightenment, or the principles which are embodied in enlightenment. This light was brightest when Buddha himself propounded his faith in such places as Eagle Peak. But for those who are less educated and for those distant in time and place from its origin, his teachings must be molded. The light must be softened by appropriate means. Hoben. Thus, the enlightened bodhisattva, the propagator, must develop techniques suited to the milieu, to individual abilities, to enable all to find the way to enlightenment. To accomplish this throughout the development of Buddhism in India, China, and especially Japan, Buddhists encouraged a fusion of its doctrines with native religion.
So for Buddha it was the moon, for the masters today it's the sun.
Well, they merged a bit with Shinto. They want to adjust. So here they have a Shinto sanctuary with the goddess here, with the two religions put together, and fundamental.
Okay, let's continue with the poem.
Next poem. We're almost done here. 1977. A reply poem. Reply poem is it's written in reply to a poem from Lady Harikawa, the mother. He's replying to a poem. Takirati. The moonlight that failed to enter my house, though it broke through the clouds, must have seen from the sky that you were not waiting. Great poem. You have to be waiting for the light to shine. Anyways, the moonlight that failed to enter your house, though it broke through the clouds, must have seen from the sky that you were not waiting. Anyway, so the following includes the topic. It appears in Shinkokinshu, is the name of the collection. And when I called on Saigyo, he said he would visit me, but he did not come. Later I heard he was passing before the gate in the bright moonlight, and I sent him this poem. It says that maybe she sent him this poem. She sent Nishi Iyuko, I thought that you would guide me to go to the west, but my empty wish for the moonlight was indeed in vain. The west and the moonlight have their usual connotations of Western paradise and enlightenment, respectively. This poem, these words are also related specifically to Saigyo. The characters in Saigyo's name mean go west. Lady Harikawa identifies Saigyo with the moonlight, the enlightened one who can guide her to the Western paradise. Her hopes for Saigyo's guidance and for enlightenment were not fulfilled. Saigyo continues this dual meaning of the moonlight in his skillful reply. And here's his reply. The moonlight that failed to enter your house, though it broke through the clouds, must have seen from the sky that you were not waiting.
So, your fault.
She didn't pay attention or wait for it or sit in meditation. She should have sat in meditation. That would have come through.
The Western paradise of Japan.
If she had been,
probably the West meant a lot.
all she had to do was wait for it.
Since all the continents lay west of Japan, imagine.
Beautiful
For them
poem.
moving west, it's a big thing.
Here was her poem again.
So even the paradise.
She writes, Lady Harikawa writes, she's begging him for help, and she says, I thought that you would guide me to go to the west, but my empty wish for the moonlight was indeed in vain. And he replies to her, the moonlight that failed to enter your house, though it broke through the clouds, must have seen from the sky that you were not waiting. All right. She's a busy, high-level lady with the lords and emperors. And she was busy. Written about understanding one's consciousness.
Why don't you just read some poems?
I am 1979. Yami Hariti. The pure moon, which has cleared up the darkness and shines in the sky of my mind, must be nearing the region of the western mountain. The pure moon, which has cleared up the darkness and shines in the sky of my mind, must be nearing the region of the western mountain. The region of the western mountain.
Japan West is a big thing because the whole world lays west of Japan anyway.
Remember, Buddha might have been west of them. The region of the mountains, Yamati.
Imagine the whole of Asia, Africa, Europe, America lays on the west of
Yamabi.
Japan.
In a Engo related to the moon, since the moon sets in the west, the moon sets in the western mountains. The western mountains act as an usual symbol for the western paradise. This poem suggests Saigyo's final enlightenment and salvation, and as it is the last poem in the Shinkokinshu, makes an exhilarating climax to the entire anthology. Thus we are ending our reading with an exhilarating climax with Saigyo's enlightenment. It reads, the pure moon, which has cleared up the darkness and shines in the sky of my mind, must be nearing the region of the western mountain. So it ends with Saigyo's total enlightenment. We are reading from a document from...
You can read that.
Reading Robert Sewell's
Really good. Here it is.
Robert Sewell's document. Anyways, it's in the notes. It's on Saigyo's poetry, Japanese 12th century poet, and who was somebody that Basho admired. We may read Basho again.